Coming to you live from downtown Detroit, this is Benzinga's PreMarket Prep. With your host, Joel Elconin.
This is a volatile puppy here, isn't it?
And Dennis Dick.
I'm bidding a penny. I will buy the stock for a penny.
With everything you need to start your trading day.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to this Friday edition of Benzinga's Pre-Market Prep. Spencer Israel, Joel Elconin, Dennis Dick, Mitch Hotch with you this morning. As always, what else can we talk about besides Tesla to the moon, Bitcoin to the moon, SRPT to whatever the opposite of the moon is? This morning we have a jobs number as well at 8:30. Don't forget about that. Jason Raznick is our guest. He'll be on at 8:40, 8:45, somewhere in that window. Want to remind you all to hit that like button as well. Help us out on YouTube. We appreciate that. A lot to get to. Let's go to Joel here. Joel, tell us what is doing in the overnight session.
S&P is up 11.50 at 38.07. Crude's up 83 cents at 51.66. Gold in the red by 24.40 at 18.89.20. Silver matching that on the downside. That's down 55 cents at 26.72. And in a new handle, well, I guess it touched it yesterday, Bitcoin, that's up $2,250 at 41,875. When will it hit 50K? Good morning, Triple D. And if we could go up like this every week, like this week, where will the market be at the end of the year? 7,000?
Well, it's hard. I mean, you think you get a little pullback. You got to pull back for one day. The January, where I was talking about maybe some people take some profits. It lasted one day. And once they didn't go down in the protests, the market completely ignored that. You're like, wow, they're going to rip this thing because we're going to get past this. And that's just what continues to happen. I mean, Tesla is, again, the poster child for this market. I don't care if you trade Tesla, you don't trade Tesla, you leave it on your screen. It is your indicator overall. As long as Tesla continues to rip, this market is going to continue to rip because it is being led by FOMO. And the number one FOMO stock is Tesla. It is up here again this morning. We have another upgrade, another bear throwing in the towel. Back-to-back days, bears throwing in the towel. I don't know where the party ends. It will end eventually, but I said I could go to $1,000. It might go to $1,000 by the end of the month. It's crazy right now. It went up 150 points in 4 trading sessions. Adam Jonas upgrades the stock 3 days ago. 3 days ago, for when the stock's at 730. Upgrades and raises his price target to 810. It's 3 days later. It's 850. Is Adam Jonas got to raise his price target again next week? I mean, this is just crazy right now, and this stock is the poster child for it. So you play the rally until it doesn't work anymore. I mean, you try to short Tesla and you get your head ripped off. People keep trying to call tops on this every single day. Somebody tweeting at me, 780. I'm short it. This is the top. It's 850 2 days later. You just lost 10% of your money. I mean, it's tough. It's tough to be short anything right now, and especially the stocks making new all-time highs. Does it end ugly? Sure, but who the hell knows when that is?
Trading just give you trading at the highs of the pre-market session. So, I mean, right there, right now, 1852.73. I believe we just ticked there. So, no numbers. There's no numbers. I have a new line in the sand, but I haven't at least waited a day or two to give it because it changes so rapidly here. But trading at the highs of the pre-market session, maybe if you have some weekly options or something, I don't know, maybe came in today, you bought the 840s, you're thinking, wow, I got lucky on these. They're now worth, at least, I wonder what they were going for yesterday. I bet you they were, for one day, I bet you they were super expensive.
Oh, yeah. For one day, those options are going to be expensive. It's hard to make money buying options in Tesla. And, I know people are going to say, oh, yeah, but I did it. Well, yeah, but it's going straight up here. But I mean, you're not getting rich buying options in Tesla unless you were going way outside before this move. Once the move gets going. So what strike did you want to know?
But 840s that expired today.
840s that expired today, and I have
let me guess. I don't have my platform open. Where did it close at? It closed.
They're less than you think.
It's what?
They were less than you think. I
$10?
can't believe. No, they were $3.50. They were actually $3.70 to $3.90 at
Wow.
the so call it $3.90 if you want to lift the offer. It was going to be $3.90.
$4.
Yeah, under $4. It's actually okay. So some people are getting rich on the option. I take it all back. I don't know. I wouldn't be writing an option on Tesla, 30 points out of my one day to go, because I was seeing this thing go 100 points. That could be an expensive $4. It can go to 900 today. It can do that. Is it going to do that? I don't think so. Are they going to pull the rug out from under it eventually? Yes, but holy. I will say one thing. If you are an options buyer, if you like buying options, the day to do it is the day before expiration and the day of expiration on those weeklies. Because if you can, say, oh, this is looking sleepy and it might go today, and you predict a move, that's where you don't have the time premium in there anymore, and you can make some money. But, for every one you try, it's like a needle in a haystack. Another one might not work out. I've played weekly options, but when I'm doing them, I'm usually doing them. Sometimes I do them like with an hour to go. Well, I'm like, okay, I think I can get a move. And I've talked about this before. Sometimes, remember you've got after hours too. People don't realize that, but remember, we talked about it on the show when Tesla closed at $6.95 on expiration Friday last month. The stock trade down to $6.80 afterwards. Most of those $6.80, like if you had a $6.85 call, a $6.90 call, most of those did not get exercised because you couldn't sell the $6.95. You had to sell it at $6.80 after hours. So unless you actually had your short out there and got your print at $6.95, nobody was getting that print. So anybody who got exercised, at $6.85 calls, like, oh yeah, I made $10. Try to sell the stock. Try to sell the stock. It's just because it's on paper you made $10. Try to sell it on Monday, because on Monday it opened at $6.70. So options, you can make money actually. I used to buy them like sometimes with a few minutes to go if they were just like at the money. And the way I would do it, and if stock, let's say XYZ, I buy the 50 calls for a penny and stock closed at like $49.99. Everybody thinks, oh, you're good. You throw out like a 50-10 short. If somebody lifts your 50-10 off for after hours, I execute my calls. I just made 11 cents. So you can execute, and IB at Interactive Brokers can go till 4:30. So you got to call your broker and make sure, before you start doing those strategies, make sure your broker allows it, because it's broker to broker. But I know Interactive Brokers is 4:30. So you have an extra half an hour there after hours with these weeklies as well. So I don't just necessarily stop looking at 4 o'clock. I look after hours. And if I've got calls, I'll throw some shorts out there, because if I get hit or if I get lifted, I can just exercise my call, make the money.
All right. Let's talk about, we got one stock in the entire universe that's having a bad day. So let's talk, and we haven't talked about it in a long time. SRPT. Oh, my Lord here. Taking a beating. Spencer, give the details.
Yeah, I guess I didn't realize that they were still on this Duchenne muscular dystrophy thing, but I guess they are. So they had some data last night. They reported the first part of a phase 2 study, and this is a lesson in being really careful, taking an extra second to look at a press release from a biotech or a healthcare company, because they can be tricky. Because here's what the PR said. Yeah. The press release said Sarepta announces results for part 1 of study, yada yada yada, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, met the primary biological endpoint. That was the first bullet point. If you didn't go past the first bullet point, all you saw was that they met the primary endpoint. The second bullet point was where the money was, because the second bullet point, let me get it right here. There we go. The second bullet point said that, however, the study did not achieve statistical significance on the primary functional endpoint of improvement, yada, yada, yada. So anyway, it can pay to take an extra second to look at these PRs if you're following them in the after-hours session.
Yeah.
That's my point.
It was halted though. The stock itself
was
halted,
that's
so
true
you
too.
didn't see the rip up. But I'm going to tell you, you're correct, because you know what ripped up? Bring up XBI and bring up IBB. Bring up XBI was the best one, because the algos read that and they're like, oh, 1% XBI, Sarepta's going to rip on this, and they bought XBI up, and then it tanked. So somebody bid it up, literally 50 cents on that headline, because they're like, oh, it's 1%. If Sarepta, goes up, 50 or 80 or 100 points on this, it's going to obviously lift up the XBI as well. And funny thing is, they were wrong, and obviously 149.70, and then they turned around. Now XBI is trading down. So when you see a stock that's held in a lot of ETFs down 50%, you've got to be aware of that it's going to put pressure on the ETF, because you look at the IBB and it's got 1%, Sarepta in it, basically 1%. I think if I give you the exact number, I had it up here. It's 1.15%. So that means just for Sarepta today, the IBB needs to be down at least 0.5%. So, and it is. You can see it this morning. So if you're scratching your head, why isn't IBB down? Well, it's got 1% Sarepta in it. Obviously, BBH is going to be down more because it has 3.45% Sarepta in it. It's a thinner one. It hasn't really traded, but it's going to open down for Sarepta 1.7%. So if you go $175 stock, it's going to open down $3 or $4. So just to make up for Sarepta. But what do you do here? Let's take away from the
Real
ETF.
quick, Dennis, before we do that, let's just do a little lesson here. Someone asked, Surfline Bra, are halts automatic? So there's different kind of halts. Just, the company can say, hey, we got some material news coming, but there's also price halts. So different kind of halts. But this one came from the company and said, hey, we got a halt. But then there's automatic halts that take place when stocks move a certain percentage point. Go ahead.
So there's this, and they are not. Your answer to your question is no. They are not automatic. It is up to the company to issue that we have material news coming out and to issue a halt. Some companies do it. Some companies don't. I actually think all companies should do it. I'd say half the time when a stock gets taken over, half the time they don't halt it.
Nope.
I think every stock that's going to come out and announce a takeover should halt the stock ahead of time. Why? Because you have people who, like myself, who might be making a market, get picked off on the news by the algos. I mean, I really think, that it's not fair that you have algorithmic traders like high frequency traders going to trade in milliseconds, pick off everybody unsuspecting. The reason for the halt is to allow everyone, even a human being, to process that information and make a more informed trading decision. So I think, when you have material news like, a drug that's going to make the stock fall 50%, or you have a takeover, that they should halt the stock ahead of time. But a lot of times they don't. So it's up to the company to, basically call the exchange, say, hey, we have material news coming out. We need you to halt the stock. And then the halt that Joel was talking about are the volatility pauses, which were put in after the financial crisis. And that varies per stock, but it depends. Like some stocks are 3%, some stocks are 5%, some stocks are 10%. Stock moves more than 5% a 5-minute period, they halt it for 5 minutes to let and this is why when you see material news coming out in small cap, it halts and then it opens and then it halts and then it opens because of those volatility pauses. But so that's the two different types.
All right. This one, believe it or not, this is easy peasy on the technicals. $80. I mean, come on.
It was through that.
It was through it. I know,
but it's a big level.
Look at it. All right. All right. Call me a liar. 73.86, whatever that March low is. That also was the low in June before it catapulted. It came down to that level. Ooh, that bottomed after the no, that was still in 19. Came down there a couple times in 19. Couldn't get down there during the financial crisis. I mean, that you want, that's where you want to look. The pre-market low is right there, just under 80, but that whole zone there, 7, I have to give a big zone in here, but can it come down here? Can it find support? Can it consolidate for a couple days and then turn up? But that's, for something like this, you got to give yourself a zone. There's my zone for Sarepta. No position.
I mean, if you're in this stock, and I know there's some people who are in it, even though everybody on Twitter would never admit that because nobody on Twitter loses money.
No,
but if
short.
You're in the stock, it's impossible to say really what to do from here. I mean, a lot of this is a pretty big company. I mean, this isn't a one-trick pony. They've got a drug that's out there, but it's a drug company that doesn't have a lot of tricks. So this is a huge setback. Does Sarepta re-emerge? Is this the dip? I don't think it's immediate. It's already been bought to a certain extent. It's 10 points off the lows, the pre-market lows. But if you think this is going back to $150 next week, it's not. Could it be back there if the news, fundamental news, if they get this drug? Because was this just completely scrapped, or this is just a setback here, Spencer. I believe this is just like a setback in getting this drug to approval. So we've seen actually Sarepta. I remember when it was like it had their other drug that got approved. The stock tanked from like 40 to 8, and then it ended up getting approved later on, and the stock obviously now $168. So I kind of want to put this in my long-term portfolio and not look at it, but I've been burned so many times trying to buy dips on pharmaceutical companies that it almost stops me from doing it, because a lot of times they continue to leak. So it's still a coin flip down here. This isn't just an automatic win if you buy the dip, in my opinion.
Yeah, and to answer your point, yes, as I understand it, this is just a setback. They're not canceling the study or anything. Like they're still on this.
They're still trying to push this drug through. It's not a stop, and
it's still for muscular dystrophy.
Yep.
Well, come on, what was the name of that? We should know the name of that original drug. What
I can't remember.
Yeah, that was like 4 years ago.
That was a lot.
The stock went down to $8. It was 40 and went down to 8 when.
Yep.
And if you look at the chart, so you can figure out when it was. If you go back, you might have to go. Oh no, actually, 38. It was 8 in the pre-market, so I can see it's back in Jan of 2016. Went from 38 to 11, and then you can see about 6.
It was it Vondis?
No,
I don't know. That doesn't ring a bell.
Okay.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. I just want the point I wanted to make, and the point I wanted to make was people automatically think, oh, you buy the dip, you win money. It's tough in pharmaceuticals because sometimes you don't. I do like Sarepta though as a company. I do think they're going to get past this, and it makes me kind of want to buy the dip, but I'm not buying the dip on the first day.
All right, let's move on here. Let's talk about Boeing. Fine yesterday. So I guess this means that that the 737 Max story is behind them. Is that what this means? So here's the number. This was out yesterday after the close. They settled essentially with the U.S. government for $2.5 billion, which is, I don't know, kind of a slap on the wrist if you ask me. But that's it. So I guess it means that this is behind them.
This is
I don't
just
know.
a tough stock.
It's a reopening play. I mean, it all depends on what's happening with the reopening. So are we, past the virus? The thing that's going to affect Boeing and NCLH, which I own, and the casinos, is if we are past, and if this mutated virus, and this is the big if, does the vaccine work on the mutation? We don't have the answer to that question yet.
Well, so far they're saying it does.
Yeah, well, yeah, of course, though. They say they think. Moderna said they think it does. Pfizer said they think it does. I don't know if I think it does it or not? Obviously, if they came out and said we don't think it does, the stocks are all going to tank, and they're not going to just say they think it does. Do they really know? I don't know if they have the answer to that. But if the answer is yes, then we're going to have this reopening trade, in 2021 work. If the answer to that question is no, we're all going back into lockdown and we got major problems. If the answer, I'm going to say it again, if the answer to the question, and the question is, does the current vaccine work on the mutated version of COVID? If the answer to that question is no, I have no idea what the answer is. If it is no, if it's even a 1% chance, if it is no, these reopening stocks are all in big trouble. So if you get the headline one day and that crosses the tape that the Pfizer vaccine does not work on the mutated version, Katie bar the door, we are going to see Boeing lose 30, 40 points that day, because this will be a major, major issue. Now, I hope it does work. Pfizer thinks it works. Moderna thinks it works. So I hope and pray that the answer is yes. If it's no, the thing's going to keep mutating. We're never going to get ahead of it. So if it's no, we got major problems. So we hope it's not. The answer to that question is not no. But that's the risk. If you're buying Boeing, you do have the risk that this vaccine might not work on the mutated version.
Right. And then the other question that you were asking on Twitter was that if you get the vaccine, does it prevent you from still passing it on? And my medical consultant said maybe. It definitely will lessen this. If you get it, it will lessen the severity of it, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you still can't transmit it. But
That's
you
the
know what?
question too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the
I asked that
market
question.
thinks so.
I asked that question on Twitter yesterday. You go out
Yep.
and you get vaccinated, like Lisa's been vaccinated. Can she have enough, so if she gets exposed to COVID, which, you get vaccinated, you're probably going to be doing more things, so that you have a higher likelihood of getting exposure, and especially Lisa being a doctor. But can she, so she doesn't get sick from it because she has the vaccine, but does she have enough that she can make you sick? Joel, bring it into your house. I don't think we have the answer to that question either.
No, we do not.
So we have still a lot of unknowns here. So just thinking, yeah, we're past COVID. But I'm going to give you, we're not past COVID. We are not past COVID. The market thinks we're past COVID, but it doesn't totally even think we're past COVID because some of these reopening stocks are still depressed. So it's still cautious. It's why it's buying tech stocks hand over fist because they think Tesla works no matter what. They think Apple works no matter what. They think, Amazon works, and Amazon hasn't been running just because it needed to digest. But I mean, they think a lot of these stocks work no matter what. There's a lot of unknowns here. You could see how 2021 could turn ugly yet. There is that possibility. But right now, there's nothing in the tape to make us, and just looking technical analysis, there's no reason to be short this market. There's absolutely no reason to. It shrugs off all bad news. You have Tesla, the poster child for, this market. You have an Apple headline last night that they're going to work with Hyundai on their battery for their Apple car. You'd think maybe that'll spook Tesla shorts a little bit, or Tesla longs a little bit. It doesn't spook them at all. They say, bring it on. Apple car, you suck. We're Tesla. We have everything. We're going to control 110% of the EV market. That's what they believe. We're going to control 110% of it. That's obviously the pie is only 100%. I'm making
no,
but they believe that it is going to be Tesla, and that is it, because that's what this valuation says they believe. You know what? Who am I to argue with it, though? It doesn't make sense, but it doesn't matter. The story is fully intact. It doesn't respond to bad news. There's absolutely no reason to be short this stock on a technical basis right now. You're just trying to be a hero. If you're shorting at 855, you're trying to be a hero, because you know what? This could be 1,000 next week. It could also be 700. It's going to pull the rug out from under. It's going to lose 150 points in one day, but we don't know when that day is. It could be 1,200 when it does, and then it comes down to 1050 and you're still losing. Trying to be a hero and call the top on Tesla is a way to lose a lot of money. It's going to top out, and probably top out in the next day or two, because it's just gone parabolic again. But who knows where that price is?
No one knows.
If Tesla ever comes down to earth, this is going to make for a hell of a lesson and a good book, I think, just about market psychology.
Well, we have those books. Those books exist. Go to 2002 and read some of the books that were written.
Yes,
and again, the CFA curriculum. I took my CFA in 2000, 2001, 2002, and I can remember in my first level of CFA, which I took in the year 2000. They put this whole new section in the CFA magazine: how to value stocks that don't make money. And Tesla makes money, but it's not the example. But there's so many stocks that they're just ripping that may never make money. How to value stocks. They had a whole chapter on how to value stocks that do not make money. In 2002. They removed that chapter because you know why? And I can remember my course instructor, because I had a course instructor, Schweizer, from I think it was Jack Schweizer. He said, "You know how you value stocks that don't make?" This was 2002. You know how you value stocks that don't make money? And he put a big 0 on the board. They're worth nothing, because that is what happened in 2001. All the companies that didn't make money, the majority of them went to 0. Yes, they did. Look at your history books. They did. The NASDAQ fell 81%. Excite at Home was supposed to be the search engine that was going to change everything. They were putting, and At Home was the cable, the cable internet combined with the search engine. This was going to be the company that changed everything. It went from $2 a share to $250 a share. It was trading with a $50 billion market cap, and this was the company that was going to change everything. Where is Excite at Home today? 0. It went to 0. Nortel Networks, what did it do? 27% of the Canadian market, 27% of the index had grown so much. It went to 0. So these stocks can do that. Don't kid yourself. They can. We're not in that. We're not like, I'm not saying this is it. We got to sell all our portfolios and they're all going down. But you have to remember, don't get caught is what I'm saying. If you're in something for a trade and you're riding the Tesla bandwagon and you buy it at 855 today and it pulls the rug out from it and it goes out down to 800 or 755, there's going to be the majority of people are saying, well, I know it's going to come back, so I don't have to sell. One day it won't come back. One day you will be in a stock that will not come back. So you don't want to get yourself caught. Do not let the trade become an investment. That's the point I'm trying to make. Because so many people back in the year 2001 blew out their accounts thinking that the stocks can't go to zero. And they did.
Can I do like a real small tangent that could really help all of the thousands of people that are listening to us?
Yes.
I don't know if you've done this, but through your insurance company, you can get like a little thing that tracks on your car. It's called Smart Ride, right? You heard about this, Dennis?
No.
And it tracks your driving for like 6 months. And depending on how you drive, you get a discount on your car insurance, right? So we did it for both of our cars, and I hardly drive, right?
Was Lisa the better driver?
Listen to this. I got a 25% discount. I mean, I pay a lot in car insurance, right? And Lisa got a 32% discount. And when I told her that, she goes, yeah, mine would have been higher, except I let you drive my car. I mean, yeah. So I mean, I pay a lot in car insurance. You should call up your car. I don't know if any people have ever done that, but man, I mean, I'm saving myself some big dinero too. I asked State Farm. I mean, someone told me. I called up my guy and I'm like, why did you tell? He goes, oh, I have it on my car. I'm like, well, why in the hell didn't you tell me about it for my car? So just do that, man. I know it's weird. I know you people are like, I don't want watching me. Man, if it could save me some bucks, then you should.
This might be the weirdest tangent we ever went on. I thought you were going to bring it back to a stock idea, but
no, I want to make people some money or help them make some money so they have more money to put into Bitcoin.
Joel's all about the inches are all around him. The inches.
You got to make money, man. You got to save it, man. I'll tell you. And I know that one time I went to visit my mom and I was driving like a maniac because I was late. That's probably where I got nicked. That's probably why I didn't get the 32% discount.
Yeah, fine excuse.
Anyways, let's go.
One last thing on Tesla, and then we'll move on. In the spring of 2019, Kathy Wood came out and said her long-term price target on Tesla was $4,000. So that was before the split, but $4,000. That's what she said. Okay, it's there. Yeah. It's there right now. If you count for the split, that's where it is. 2 years later, less than 2 years later, it went from when she said that Tesla was at 250 or 300, somewhere in that 250 to 300 range. She said 4,000.
This
got there in less than 2 years.
This is the call that made Kathy Wood. This is the call that makes every stock she buys now go up 5%. It is because of Tesla. She's on the map, and obviously it's because she went bold. Nobody was saying stuff like that. Everybody thought she was crazy. Oh my God, was right. Yeah. She was right. So this made her, and she's gonna be a big name in the industry.
Hey, Dennis, stop. 829, jobs number 830. Crap.
Sorry. Yeah, Dennis, go wide there. We don't want you getting picked off.
I lost track of time. Sorry.
No, bot. No,
Sorry.
Actually, you know what? I actually did move it just at 8:30:00, so I did get out in time. I just went cancel all orders. That cancel all orders button is a good button when you don't know what's going on.
You could have
now I got to sit here and I got to put them all back in.
Sorry.
It
okay.
takes me like 25 minutes to put them all back in.
Okay, we just got a jobs number, non-farm payrolls, down 140,000 for that's really. Wait a minute. Let me see if I'm reading this right. The estimate was The estimate was for 75,000 jobs added last month, and then the actual number was 140,000 jobs last month. Unemployment rate expected to. Where's my numbers here? I'm sorry. I got caught off guard.
Losing some altitude here, folks.
Unemployment rate expected to rise to 6.8% from 6.7%. In reality, man, I'm sorry, my computer is being slow, and I'm just not. My internet connection is not.
Do the numbers even matter? It's
No,
all
they
about what
don't.
the S&P's reaction is, and the reaction is slightly down. And we know what happens. They turn around and find the silver lining and probably just start rebuying the market again. We're still in this buy the dip mentality, which cannot be shaken. One day it will be, but I don't believe this day is happening right now.
All right. Yeah. Unemployment rate is in line where it was last month or the month before. So November. And that's that.
One of my overbought indicators that's been wrong for like the last 3 months.
We want to hear this one then. Here's my indicator that's been wrong forever. Let me give it to you. I'll give you this.
All right, I will
read
give
a book about that indicator.
I will give you the number. I will. I mean,
No, I want to hear it.
I know. I forget it. Forget it. You
No,
hurt
I
my feelings.
hear it.
You hurt
What's
my
your
feelings. No.
What's your indicator that's been wrong?
No,
for
I'm not going to give it to you.
Now.
No, you hurt my feelings. You can't be mean and then expect to get your way all the time, Dennis. No.
Well,
no, I'm not going to give it to you.
Here's an indicator. It's been wrong for the last 3 months, but I want to give it to you. Tell me the one that's been right for the last 3 months. My Kathy Wood indicator has been right for the last 3 months. I'll tell you that much.
When you get off the show at 9, I may give it to the people that I like.
I will never get it.
You will never get it.
My mom's going to be texting me right now and say, stop picking on Joel. I think it's coming through here right now, actually. Stop picking on Joel. All right, we got 3 minutes. Raz
I
is
started
coming.
it.
The Raz is coming. He's usually 8:40, though, so we got a few more minutes. Give us some tickers. I mean, one thing I wanted to talk about was you can really tell you're in this raging bull market when you start seeing stocks of consumer staples start to get smacked. And I know Coke got downgraded for a couple of days, but you're seeing the utility stocks get hit now. You even saw the TLT has been rolling over because bonds and everybody's want stocks. But you think about what's happening, the logistics behind what is happening with selling utilities, selling consumer staples, because nobody wants to sit in there and collect 3% dividend stocks when they're watching their other stocks go up 10, 20% a day. So people are like, why the hell am I going to own Verizon and AT&T, AT&T ex-dividend, by the way, or Coca-Cola, when I can watch, when I can make 20% a day trading or 100% a day trading 3D.
Hell yeah. I mean, this is happening. Dennis, did you see that move?
Oh, and this is fuel cell part 2 for me. I had 3D systems in the portfolio for a long time. Finally gave up on it back in, let's say, November, right around the same time I gave up on fuel cell. And I sold it at like $6.50. Never looked at it again. Hoping it goes to zero because I want to steal the ticker symbol. It's $25 it hits yesterday. I know. I mean, I'm like, my jaw is like literally hitting the desk. This is crazy Looney Town. This candle, to put it in perspective, just got back like 5 years of losses in one day. There's 5 years of pain in that. Everything that we say, stocks can't go up because there's so much overhead supply because it's so much pain. It was before Robinhood. We got to write in CFA. Hey, curriculum writers, we got to write the Robinhood chapter and how this impacts stocks, because it does. And they don't care if there's people with 5 years of pain. They just care that this thing's hot as hell right now and it's going higher. And anything can do something for a day. I mean, and then they go up and they're like, oh, this is for real. I mean, this is a stock that has been in the gutter basically since 2014. And all of a sudden, in one day, it goes up 100%. I mean, I did not participate in this whatsoever. I actually, like I said, I was in the stock for a long time. I finally, just got out of it because I got sick of waiting for it. And here it is 2 months later, going up 100% one day.
You know what?
On a headline that isn't even that. What was the headline, Spencer?
1 quarter.
Yeah.
Go ahead, give it to him, Spencer.
Yeah, they gave guidance for Q4. They gave 1 quarter's worth of good guidance.
Ooh.
What if it would have been 2 quarters?
So our sales, we are estimated only 139 million. We're seeing them up to 170 million.
Yeah.
Well, that's got to be worth a double, right? Fundamental. Crunch, get your CFA pencils out right there. Oh, yeah, I can come up with the $25 price target on that one.
Oh, yeah. Boy. Oh, boy. You know what this makes me want to buy? In full disclosure, insurance? I don't have it, and I'm not going to buy it. But you know what this makes me want to buy?
Insurance.
No, nope. Camera on a stick.
Yeah.
That's what it was. That's what. Do they have other products? I mean, go back to GoPro. Does GoPro ever come out with other products?
Yes. Yeah. They have
We always called them the camera on the stick.
They have wearables. Oh no, that's Garmin.
And we were right, by the way. People hated us. Me and Joel, if you go back to listen to the 2014, 2015 shows, yes, we've been around that long. Nobody was listening back then. But we talked about the camera on the stick, GoPro. Sorry, Spencer, I'm interrupting. I'm going to get yelled at for my mom for interrupting you now. But I interrupt everybody all the time. I'm brutal. The mean
You interrupt your mom?
Oh, problem. Oh, I learned it from her. No, just kidding, Mom. Just kidding, Mom. Just kidding. Jeez, I'm in real trouble here now.
Wait, continue.
But anyways, we were calling this the camera on the stick when the stock was $40, and then it went to $60, and then it went to $80, and went to $90, and I was like, it's still a camera on a stick. And then so we hated it from the initial day it came out, and the stock went up 200%. And we hated it ever since, and we've hated it the whole time. So we were wrong for the first month or 2 months when it was going straight up, but we were right for the last 5 years. You know what? This market's such a Looney Tune market, Joel. I completely taking it right back to what you said. Maybe we should get along GoPro. It's just combing the ditches, looking for the trash, and you know what? It's sitting up here bumping against 9. Could the stock go to 19? I would say before yesterday, I would say impossible. I will say now, it's possible because I just watched 3D Systems do it. So that's actually a good trashy stock to buy.
Yeah.
GoPro.
Also, man, if you talk, and I don't know how this happened, but the owner, and I did an article on this. This is a long time ago. The owner, like one of the major stockholders, got out of a covenant to sell the stock. I don't know. Somehow he wiggled out from J.P. Morgan. And he was able to sell, because I don't know, he said he was doing it for a charitable trust or something. And I think he sold it around $90. And he sold, I can't remember the guy's name. And I was like, how could you do this? Go back. I remember that. Oh, what's that? I heard myself again.
Jason's trying to come on. He must have the show on.
Oh, yeah, Jason.
Keep going.
If you're in your car,
finish your
turn
point.
your radio off before you come on the air.
Finish your point.
No, that it was I don't understand why they let that guy out of that covenant to sell the stock. It was, go back. You could find it. It was, I don't know. I thought that was the greatest sell signal ever. And I remember the stock going 85 or 90. He was able to dump almost all the stock. Hello?
I don't remember that.
Sorry, I was here.
Yeah,
but
Spencer, where are you?
I go in and out. I take myself in and out sometimes. I want to say, if you guys don't follow Dennis, you would love this guy on Twitter. His name is Dr. Parik Patel. Do you follow him on Twitter?
No.
He does hilarious trolly fake financial analysis. He does I'll read you one of his tweets from a month ago. Good morning. This is from December 21st. Good morning, everyone. Since Tesla hit my previous price target, I spent last night doing some more analysis. I'm proud to say I'm very bullish. My revised price target, and he goes on to say, basically, he just doubles. He just I'm revising my price target to $2,000. I did this by doubling my price target. He just does the most stupid analysis. It's a joke, but it's a troll account. It's very funny. Dr. Parik Patel, highly recommend it on Twitter. Okay. Jason,
I got a message from my mother before you go on too, so I'm in trouble for that comment. She says, it's not true. I taught you well, and tell Joel I have masking tape. So yes, no, it is true. I just I do interrupt people too much. So I need the masking tape every once in a while.
Jason was here, and now he's not. So let me try to hunt him down, because he was on here for a split second. In the meantime, let's do some tickers, because we didn't actually do any. Let's just do one.
Sure.
And we'll bring Jason. We'll bring Jason on.
I'm here.
Jason's back now.
Yes, I'm here.
I had to
because it was just a long story.
Okay.
How did I do it? Because I created the software, as you know. You guys are using it now. So I think it took you 3 months to get on, or 6 months, but we love it. So love. So I have a secret code to job myself in, so you can't even control me. Joel's mad. Funny ass show. Joel, you cracked me with the insurance thing, that car insurance thing, that thing about saving money. That's going to be the new segment, the Joel personal finance saving tip of the day. I love that.
You heard of that, though, right?
Stock rant. Yeah, I heard of it. I just don't have it. All this, but Dennis was in a stock rant, and all of a sudden you're like, "Wait a second, guys! I got to tell you something."
It was like the commercial for Geico Insurance.
Yes, it was great. It was great, Joel. I loved it. It was phenomenal. But I've heard of it. I actually, my wife called the insurance company because I wasn't driving my car. I was at home, and they said, "Well, we're giving you a credit for next year, not this year." Well, what good does that do for me? I don't know. So you have a better insurance provider, I guess. So I have some notes.
And Raz, you're looking good. Where are the specs?
The specs. Specs are the specs.
Where's your glasses?
I know. I have contacts in. I have contacts.
Right. Okay.
Because I'm in Florida, and so I'm in Florida right now.
How long are you there for?
Forever. If I wasn't coaching a flag football team, I don't think I'd come back.
That's the place to hide out. That's the place to
hide out. You're coaching Jason's flag football team? Or not Jason, Josh's?
Yes, my first time ever coaching a team, and I went and recruited a crazy team and all this stuff. I bought Facebook ads, spent about $400. I recruited from all over the state, and I've never coached. And I went on YouTube and I bought a video how to coach flag football, and I paid $69. And this guy, gave me the whole instructions and all this stuff. So I'm learning and watching videos, and hopefully I'll be good. All right, but
try not to get barred from the league like I did in girls softball from coaching.
We got to tell that story another time. All right, I got to leave.
I think so.
Bring
that's it back in.
All right, I got to leave here at 8:52, and I have 4 quick things. Ideanomics is moving today. That company's presented our small cap conference. I don't remember the symbol right now to tell you, Joel. I don't remember. I don't know. Ideanomics.
I just keep seeing it go IDEX, I believe.
Okay, but I don't know why it's moving, but maybe it's because EV. I just wanted to say, because I know we talked about it on the show like 3 weeks ago. It was at the Benzinga Small Cap Conference. That's all I'll say on that. Then I'm going to go to what Dennis was talking about, Kathy Wood. I don't know if you guys know this, but earlier in 2020, in February, I spent a good 2 hours with Kathy Wood in person in Detroit, Michigan. I was actually going to drive her to the airport, but then I'm like, I have to go all the way to the airport and all that, and so spent 2 hours with her, and we recorded the conversation. She told me her whole vision, the Tesla calls. This was when Tesla was around, like what Spencer said, 350, 400. And I also just think it's crazy. I've been saying Tesla for, 4 years, 3 years. It's probably been my talk pick on the show, and people would always like, Spencer used to tease me about it, but it's kind of crazy to me that stock then becomes what it is today. I mean, to go from when we started talking about it from what, $78 to $4,000 is just, I look at my portfolio and I just can't I can't even fathom it. And it's like, there's one of these things that doesn't happen. It's like when I sold Amazon at $10 a share, guys, that would be worth like 3 million today. So it's not as big as that, but it's like that.
What are your thoughts here? I mean, I can't go up forever. What are your thoughts here? Do you buy some puts? Do you ring the register on some? I mean, what are your thoughts? How do you approach a win? This is a good question. We have a winner this big. How do you approach it? What do you do with it?
Yep. Okay. So the movie The Waterboy, and the girlfriend tells Lynn Swan what the end score is going to be.
I don't remember that.
In the game, like they said, she was given water, and Lynn said, "Who's going to win?" And she's like, "The Mud Dogs, 31 to 20." And they won 31-23.
That's a great.
Okay, the Mud Dogs. Okay, so I feel like the guy that I work with on Tesla, he is that girl, because he has called it to a T. And I call battery day to a T, but he's called the whole Tesla trade to a T. Like 3 weeks ago or 4 weeks ago, I said I want to buy some other stocks. There's a stock, CleanSpark, and we'll get to that in a second. I want to sell some of my Tesla and put in CleanSpark. He goes, Jason, if there's one thing I can tell you, do not sell Tesla for the next 3 weeks. I promise you. And then he also told me that bet by Thanksgiving. No, that was 3 weeks ago. So then Thanksgiving. Remember, he said it'd be at $600. It was at $390, and that's when everyone was saying it was dead money. Oh my God! Sorry, hold on. Shoot, am I still on?
Yep.
Yeah, you're still on.
Sorry, you guys there? All right.
Yeah,
no, we're here. We're here.
Josh called my cell phone. My headset went off.
Jason, we're with you.
All right. So
what's your guy saying?
So I haven't read the reality is he's been saying I've been saying that it's going to hit $1,000. Okay. Been saying that since the split, that it's going to go from $370 to $1,000. That's what he's been saying since the get-go, and he hasn't changed. I'll tell you what I did, Dennis. I sold my first shares of Tesla in probably 7 months. I sold 5 shares of Tesla, the smallest amount ever, which was what, are you cracking up? Yeah. 5 shares, and I have multiple hundreds of shares. I sold 5 shares. I just had to. I wanted to sell a little more, but I'm probably going to sell another 5 shares today. Okay. The biggest thing that I have on Tesla, though, is these call options that are January 15, 540s. Those are, and they're up from, like, say I spent $1,500 on them, Dennis, like on one call, they're at 23,000. And that's like the one that's crazy. And Dennis and Joel, you'll remember this when I had those crazy calls and I called you guys, offline privately to ask for advice, and I ended up selling them. And what I've learned, Dennis, is anytime I've sold Tesla, I've been wrong. Yeah. Every day it's been the wrong move. And what you said, Dennis, is about one day you're going to wake up with Tesla down $100. That so could happen. It just seems like
it doesn't even matter at this point in time. I mean, it's done.
That's your point. Yeah,
it's done that. You've woken up and it's been down $100, and you know what? A month later, it's back. I mean, so this has been an unbelievable hold for you, and for Joel too. Joel's long it too. I mean, unbelievable. I just don't know, like, at what point in time you just say, okay, all the value is in here. I mean, it's the 5th most valuable or 6th most valuable company in the world. Is it going to be the most valuable?
No,
I mean, if you're buying it here
now, it overtook Facebook yesterday.
It's 5 now.
Yeah, but like, if we go back, when our editors go back and look at clips and we debated it, dead money this and all this stuff, it's not a car company. It really isn't. That's the thing. Like, it's not a car company. And every time Elon Musk would say outrageous things like, I'm going to introduce this car, and everyone just said, there's no way. And you guys would say that GM and Ford are going to wipe Tesla away. And I disagree, because GM and Ford, their business model doesn't let them wipe Tesla away. They can't unless they forgo their dealerships. That dealership model does not work against a company like Tesla. Is the valuation done?
Stop, Jason. I want to interrupt you. It's not about the automotive. You just said it's not a car company. That's where I want to go. So everybody says it's not a car company, it's a technology company. But I see cars and I see solar. What else are they doing? It's not a car company. So you could say it's a solar company and a car company. But what else? You can't say it's a space company. I get this argument all the time. I get this argument all the time. People say it's a space company. They think that they own SpaceX. Tesla and SpaceX are 2 separate companies. So it's not a space company. It's not like they say, oh, he's going to put us all on Mars and we're going to colonize Mars and we're going to make all the money through Tesla. If you're going to colonize Mars, you're going to make the money through SpaceX. So what is you're getting Musk, but I would rather own SpaceX, to be honest with you, if it was public. I guess you could buy it privately, but if that was a public company, what is it then? What is Tesla if it's not a car company and a solar company? What is it?
Yeah, absolutely. And the chat is going crazy. And XII, Elon Musk once tweeted, the stock is too high, and that was the last time that I sold shares. I fell for that call when he said it was too high. But Tesla's an energy company, Dennis. So think of DT Energy, think of energy companies, think of anything that takes energy. That is what Tesla is. In Puerto Rico, Tesla has a $2 billion grid out there that powers half the island.
It's a solar company. Solar. Cars and solar.
But solar is just part of it. It's energy. So it's not always going to be solar. In some regions, solar doesn't work well. So they have this storage with a battery. They have this battery that can store power better than anyone else knows how to. So I say it's an energy company, which is bigger than solar. That's my take.
I mean, I'm on board with you. I said this back at 700 a week and a half, but I'm on board as a trade. I'm not on board as an investment, and I get off very quickly on trades. I just have challenged, like, people say, why don't you put Tesla in your long-term portfolio? And I just can't grasp, even though you say it's technology, I can't grasp how this can be the most valuable company in the world.
No,
Amazon went from a market cap, and this was tweeted, I think, somebody else tweeted this yesterday, but it took them 10 years to go from a market cap of like 150 billion to 750 billion. 10 years. Yep. And the sales growth was immense. Here you have Tesla was just gifted it. They've just been gifted this market cap without the sales. I can't understand it. Fundamentally, I can't understand it.
Yep. Wayne Duggan tweeted that, by the way. It's a great tweet.
Is that, yeah. It was Wayne. It was one of our guys.
Yeah,
great.
Yeah. Yep. And then he wrote. Yeah, he just actually wrote back. He actually just wrote back to you. But I only have like 2.5 minutes. I just want to do a couple more quick things. So in December 24th. This is funny, guys. I'm not going to play the clip because Dennis, you'll say I'm out of my mind. But and maybe I was. My son, Josh Raznick, and Riley are very into TikTok, and they met a TikTok celebrity, and the TikTok celebrity told them how to like do the TikTok algorithm, which is get people to watch your video for more than 6 seconds, and you can start to rank higher. Okay. And so my son does all these things now, and I'm getting to a point. My son does all these things now, like if you believe, he asks a question. Why when you bite your tongue does it hurt? Why when you bite your tongue on purpose it doesn't hurt? And then why are you doing that now? Like stuff like that, and then people tune in, then you get a lot more clicks. So I said to my son Josh, watch, I will get stock traders to go crazy for me. So I got on TikTok December 21st, and I jumped in the scene. I'm like in the loudest voice ever. I got 2 stocks for you that I will guarantee will be up in January. And if they're not, I will send you an Amazon gift card. 2 stocks that'll be up more than 20% in January, guaranteed. I felt like I was like an auto show, like a sales guy. Okay. But I had to show excitement. And I'm saying this is my opinion. I didn't have any facts. It was like I think they'll be up. So I gave 2 stocks. One was Upwork, which hasn't done anything. I'm not going to swear, Joel, which hasn't done anything since I said it. Okay. It's done 0, so it's flat. So the story's boring so far. And the other one is CleanSpark. I just looked at the video before the show. CleanSpark's up 140%, and no one likes to do TikTok. But that's my other stock that I bought recently, guys, at the end of December. CleanSpark, to get off the grid as well. So I don't know. I don't know if you guys are trading that CLSK and what charts for Joel, but that's another one I've been trading.
All right.
That was a long story to get to. But if you go to my TikTok, I think it's Raznick 1. You guys can go see where I call this CleanSpark, and so CLSK.
All right. And then, I don't want you to be late for your next.
And then I know. And wait, before you come, one last thing. The most profitable book I've ever read, because Dennis was talking about books and the history. The most profitable book I ever read was a book by Ashley Vance, Ashlee, on Elon Musk. And it's just about how he makes anything happen. And that's why I stayed in my Tesla position. But I should have bought more shares. I didn't. Me and Dennis will talk about that all the time. If Dennis knew how much knowledge I had, like how much I loved Tesla back then, he said, Jason, you should have sold your stocks you didn't like and put it in Tesla. I didn't think like that. I was dumb, but whatever.
Wait, Raz, I want to tell you before we go, I was at the office yesterday. My weekend reading this book that we had Josh Brown on our show last month.
How is it? Yeah.
November. No, I didn't start. This is my project for the weekend. I'm going to start reading this weekend. This is how I invest my money. I will report back. I have high expectations for this book. Okay.
All right. Thank you, guys. Yep. And hit the like and subscribe. The show has been great. You guys, I got to tell you one little thing. The show has been so good that when I go shower sometimes at 8:15, I actually bought a Bluetooth speaker because I couldn't handle. No, I'm not joking. It's right in here. It's right in my bag here. I couldn't handle not listening to the show. My phone, I broke one phone because of you guys. I got water on it, and they say that the phone's waterproof. But yes, it's waterproof. So I got this Bluetooth speaker. Here it is.
All right.
I got this speaker because of you guys. The one thing I'm going to say is, for some reason, Dennis, your voice is way deeper than Joel and Spencer's on the speaker in the shower. So I'm going to have to, I need to adjust audio levels. But all right, guys.
I don't know how you change my voice.
Great show.
I'm like the bass pounding off your shower walls. Boom.
Yes,
boom,
you
boom.
are. You're at the base. But by the way, one more thing. GAN is positive now, Dennis. GAN is positive.
You've been rocking, Jason.
Hey, you held on to that.
I got to tell you one thing about Jason Raznick. He has been right about all this stuff. And I like to play devil's advocate. I like to argue with him on Tesla. I have been wrong on Tesla valuation for a long time. I've argued, and not put in my long-term portfolio, which was a mistake. I've had it long for trades, but it should have been my long-term portfolio. Jason's been right about a lot of things. So congratulations. It's been the right call.
All right. 8:55. Let's do some tickers finally from our chat. We haven't really gotten to many today, although we've talked about it a few times. Let's see. Let's go to someone asked about Alibaba. They ask about that every day. I don't know what there was to say. Dennis, how freaked out are you still about Alibaba?
Still freaked out. Think about what the market is doing. And think about what Alibaba is doing. The relative strength on this is horrendous. I mean, everybody's, saying, oh, yeah, the 225. Dennis, I bought your stock from you. Well, it's right back there again. So I'm still long a small piece. I did lift the insurance on it too, so I'm fully long the small piece. But I don't know. I'm still nervous because I don't know what they're going to do over there. Maybe they're going to, just Jack Ma, move him away from the company, and maybe I let Alibaba do its thing. I love Alibaba, the company. Until I get more clarity on what the regulators are going to do over there, I'm just sitting with what I've got. So if they look like the regulators are going to push past and they're going to, obviously start to, move past Alibaba, but let's see what the results of this, they're looking at it from a monopolistic perspective. They're looking at it from, and the regulators are giving it scrutiny. Let's see what the results of that are, because I am concerned.
Okay. ADT. This isn't a quiet one we don't talk about very often on our show. The home security company.
This is the kind of crap that's going to go right now. You know what? I don't mind the stock chart at all. I mean, you're looking now, you're at a point where you got to look for what hasn't gone. You look for what stocks, are, and this is towards the end usually, but people are looking around what hasn't gone yet. I got to find something. They're looking at what's in the gutter and what could start to go. I mean, the stock could start to go here just because it's been in the gutter. And this is the kind of stocks that are starting to run now, But the one thing is, you could say, is ADT a technology company? It's a security company, So, people were arguing this. But, I mean, I don't mind this level. You had the big break in July. Joel went from 8 to 16. I don't remember what that headline was, but it was sold wickedly. And you're back here. You're back at that support area. So if you're taking a flyer on it now, I don't mind it. I kind of like the risk reward down here.
I think I'll pass on this one just because, I mean, can't you get your, and we don't, are there a lot of ways to get alarms now?
Well, there's always been a lot of ways to get alarms.
Yeah,
sure.
But no, I mean, I know Comcast, and I mean, there's a lot of competition out there. And,
yeah, you tell me that Amazon can't just make one of these things in 5 seconds, right? I'm sure they could.
Yeah,
just squash it. I don't know.
But no, I mean, going on, what Dennis is talking about. Yeah, why the hell not? Looks like it's been struggling at the 850 area a little bit. You clear 850. I mean, you got it out. Who knows with these kind of things? If I don't think any analysts cover or anything.
This is the why not market, Joel.
I'm sorry.
Why not? This is the why not market.
Yeah, why not?
Why not?
Why not? Why not?
Tesla 1000. Why not?
Why not?
I mean, we're completely disconnected from everything. I mean. And, we can move away from Tesla. Everything's disconnected from everything. Story gets hot, stock goes up ridiculously. This is just completely disconnected from fundamentals of the whole market. So why not?
Joel, can you bring up the chart of Coke? Because they've now gotten 3 downgrades in the last, 4 days?
Wow.
This is what I was talking about, though. Even if without the downgrade, stuff like this is getting smacked right now. Who the hell wants to go and put their money in Coke for a 3% dividend? People are not. Is that sexy? Is that a story? People are all into the story right now. Do I want to own Coke in my long-term portfolio? Maybe. Because you know what? It isn't going to go down 50% in a day. And what you saw in Sarepta today, you will start to see in individual stocks. You will start to see that happen. You remember the first ball to fall back in 1999 or 2000? You remember the first ball to fall?
No, what was it?
Do you remember? And what really kickstarted it in the middle of it, which was the jaw dropper back then, it was when Lucent Technologies reported earnings, and it had closed the previous day at 110, and it opened at 55. And I was like, and this was the most wide, because this was an AT&T spinoff. It was one of those most widely owned stocks in the entire U.S. and opened down 50% in one day. And everybody is like, how is that possible? What just happened? How can I lose half of my money in this thing? This is Lucent Technologies. And that was the one that started. And then you started seeing other stocks do down 50%, down 50% in a day. So not like, you're sitting there and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to put my stop down 3%. There was no stop. It was an earnings report, but there was no stop. It opened down 50%. Like Sarepta, you can say, I own at 168, and this is a biotech company, but they do this. But Lucent Technology wasn't the kind of stock to do this, and it did it. And that's what can happen. So you just have to remember, when you're all in on margin, and I see Chris Camillo tweeting out, he's all in on margin, he's 200% in the market, and he's got out of the money calls and stuff too. And Chris has been right the whole time. And we've had Chris on the show. I love Chris. I would never do what Chris is doing, because I can remember 1999. And if you go all in on margin, 200% of your equity is worth, and you're wrong, you lose a lot of money. Chris has made a lot of money, and maybe he's comfortable to lose a lot of money. I'm not. I don't like losing a lot of money. So it's just your risk tolerance, right? But I don't go on margin in my investment portfolio at all, because the day of reckoning could happen. And it could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 2 years from now. But going all in, especially if you're going all in on one stock, you could have your Sarepta moment or your Lucent Technologies moment. And you don't want to get wiped out. You don't want to blow out your account because you're all in on one stock. Just stay diversified.
Hey, Dennis, good question here before we wrap things up. Ray Rayner, how does the downgrade move some stocks so much and some don't even move? You know, like
that's a great question.
You know, Coca-Cola. I think just because, you know, pretty wide, you know, institutionally held, maybe some of these institutions actually listen to analysts and will make moves based on that. But also, Ray, it's also like the multiplier effect too. Like one downgrade, and then another downgrade, So sometimes we call it it's not really analysts chasing price, but just kind of ganging up on a stock. So, but I'll tell you right now, let's see what happens at $50 here. I know it's bouncing a little bit, but that's where it broke out from. Let's see if it hangs in there for a couple days. Maybe get a little bit of a bounce if you're looking to unload this on a little bit of a bounce what 52 and a half. I mean, if it ever gets back up to that area, 52 and a half, you'll see a lot of sellers on the way back up.
The answer to your question is certain stocks can do certain things. Coca-Cola is not a stock that's ever going to go up 100% a day because it's Coca-Cola. It's too thick. It's too widely owned. It's like it's just too big of a company, and it's a consumer staple, which is a conservative stock. So it's never going to fall that much either. So when you get a downgrade on Coke, the banks are a great example. Bank gets downgraded, knocks it down like 0.5%, maybe 1%. You get a downgrade of Fubo, it goes down 10%. Because there's so much more, and I expect the average daily rate. There's so much more unknown about the price. There's so much more price uncertainty. So when you have analyst action on a stock like Tesla, there's a lot more price uncertainty in that, and it moves the price a lot more. There's a lot of price certainty in a stock like Coke. People are, it's got a 3% dividend. AT&T, it's got a 7% dividend. They're more comfortable with where it is. So there's short-term price certainty in a stock like that, where Tesla is still in price discovery mode all the time. Nobody really knows what it's worth. Nobody knows anything. Believe it or not, Kathy, nobody knows anything. People just make calls and they predict stuff, but nobody knows. So when you come in on a stock like Coke, it just doesn't have the capabilities to move down 5% on a downgrade. If it moved down 5% on a downgrade, all these money managers that are dividend-oriented plays would be backing up the truck. So it's just a different style of a stock.
That's why if you're listening to our show back in November, when Pfizer made that move from 36 to 43, it's $6. So it's $7.
Yeah.
A huge move for a stock like Pfizer, which is in the Dow, just like Coke is, right? These are Dow stocks. These are like stodgy stocks a $7 move on Pfizer is huge. And that equivalent would be the same thing in Coke, right? Same thing. So,
yeah, it was just too much too fast. Same thing with Gilead, when it was moving up on the vaccine. I mean, seeing Gilead pop up 15. This is Gilead. This is, one of the biggest pharmaceutical companies. Old, it's got a dividend. I mean, this is just not a stock that moves 15 points on a headline. And those were selling opportunities when you get these crazy moves on these stocks. And even like 3D Systems. I mean, okay, yeah, it could just do anything. But that was probably a long-term selling opportunity yesterday. Is it going to 50? Probably not. This is the craziest market in the world, so I'm never going to say never anymore. I'm going to need to eliminate that because sometimes I say it'll never get back there. Never say never in this market, but in all likelihood, that's stock doubles in a day, rings the register at least on some of it, takes some of the profits. I mean, I did it wrong in Fubo. I took some of the profit. I should have took it all, and the stock goes from 30 to 60 in 4 days. When a stock doubles in 4 days, you ring the register on some of it because stocks shouldn't be doing that. But they do. I mean, when they want to give it to that much, that fast, take some of the profits. Take your initial investment back out of it. Because you know what? Sometimes they're going to turn into Fubos and they're going to give it all back in the next 7 days. Sometimes they're going to continue to go higher. But, I mean, when they just go parabolic like that, it's a good thing to ring the register. At least on some.
All right, I think that's a good place to wrap it up here. So smash that like button on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching this. Thanks to our guest, of course, Jason Raznick, and all of you in our chat. Catch a replay of this on YouTube or on every major podcast platform. And for all you podcast listeners, please remember all the information from our show is meant to be used as informational purposes, not for investing or trading advice. Email us with any questions, comments, concerns, hate mail, love mail, whatever, premarket@benzinga.com. And that's it. We'll be back at 3:40 p.m. Eastern Time.